sports all plays. Yeah. All sports all plays. All sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to Easy Money, the sports betting show, Thursday, September 21st, 2023. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez. How's it going?
Oh, going pretty well.
A pretty good, decent slate of baseball games. You had a couple early games, and I think you have quite a few teams off today because there's only like 6 or 7 games this evening.
Yeah.
Do have a college football game tonight, Georgia State, Coastal Carolina, and then, of course, Thursday night football, NFL. A few games going on this evening. After a couple evenings, the last couple of days, there ain't been much sports on in the evening really to watch. I mean, you got some baseball, but the Reds played a day game yesterday, so
Off today. I went 3-2 last night.
I went 3-2 yesterday. Yeah, I went 3-2 yesterday as well. With my picks, that makes me 521 and 401 on the year. Who did I lose? Oh, I had the Marlins beating the Mets. Mets won that game, and then I had Cubs over the Pirates, which I was kind of glad to see the Cubs lose, because with the Cubs losing and the Marlins losing, the Reds losing yesterday didn't affect them as much as it could have.
I think they're a game back. The Cubs for the third spot, I believe.
Yeah, but I mean, if the Cubs would have won it with us blowing that game yesterday, it ended up not being as bad because some of the other couple teams lost as well. So that definitely helped the Reds out. Hopefully they can get things going again tomorrow. That was a tough loss yesterday because that was a game you had control of. You have to win that game.
If we win that game, we'd be tied for that spot right now.
Hey, how's it going, Glenn?
Glenn.
No, you got National League playoff race is really tightening up. Going to be real tight over the last 7-8 games, and then you got NFL back. The Bears have a mess going on. It seems like their defensive coordinator resigned.
Yeah.
There's been reports that his house got raided. I think on Sunday. Haven't really heard a whole lot more about that. There was a report that one of the Bears buildings had gotten raided yesterday, but then there's been reports come out that that's not true. Yeah. So I haven't really heard a whole lot more about that. So I'm not sure exactly what's all going on there. Then you had Justin Fields come out and basically blame his poor play on coaching, and then came back and kind of tried to backtrack it a little bit. And the Bears are going up against the Chiefs this weekend, so it looks like the Bears are for the team that a lot of people thought was going to be have a big turnaround this year and everything. It looks like they might be on track to have that number 1 pick again, like it did last year. With the Colts,
let me ask you real quick: if that happens, and that means they've had a terrible year. Do they go after the quarterback from USC or one of those quarterbacks and move on from Fields?
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll probably move on from Fields, and they might even. I could see him probably get a new coach as well.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too.
With the Colts, hadn't heard really much today. I know Richardson didn't participate in yesterday's practice, which didn't surprise me much. That's basically the first practice of the week, but haven't heard much today if he's been able to clear protocols yet or not. So it's still kind of up in the air whether he'll be playing this weekend for the Colts or not. I wish they'd come out here today that he has passed protocols because I have him in fantasy and my backup quarterback plays tonight. So I'd like to know if he's going to be playing. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting. I'd like to see him play because he needs all the playing time he can get. He's been pretty impressive the first couple starts, other than not being able to stay healthy. Hopefully he can keep that going and get back on the field and make it through a whole game. Plus, I'd like to see what he look. Plus, it'd be pretty cool to see him and Lamar Jackson go at it, just because they're kind of a similar type player. I know he's bigger than Lamar, but they're kind of a similar type player. So it'd be nice to see them offenses kind of go at it. But it's going to be interesting. All right. Go ahead and we'll get this pulled up real quick. KB said he was watching today. All right. Let's see. We'll go baseball first, and then we'll jump into football. Right now in baseball, you have a couple games going on. The Angels are up 4-3 over the Rays in the bottom of the seventh. The Brewers are up 6-0 over the Cardinals. That's in the bottom of the eighth. That's the only two games going on right now. My first game for tonight is going to be the Toronto Blue Jays at the New York Yankees. The Yankees are 1.5 run favorites. They're minus 144 on the money line. The Blue Jays are plus 122 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 7 runs. The Blue Jays are 85-67 on the season, 44-33 on the road. On the mound for the Blue Jays will be Berrios, who is 11-10 with a 3.49 ERA. The Yankees are 76-76 on the season, 39-38 at home. They will have Garrett Cole on the mound tonight, who is 13-4 with a 2.81 ERA. They have split the first two games of this series. Yankees winning game one, Blue Jays won yesterday. I'm going with the Yankees today with Garrett Cole on the mound on the money line. Next game for me is going to be the Baltimore Orioles at the Cleveland Guardians. The Orioles are 1.5 run favorites, minus 162 on the money line. The Guardians are plus 136 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 8 runs. The Orioles are 95-57 on the season, 50-27 on the road. On the mound for the Orioles will be Rodriguez, who is 6-4 with a 4.53 ERA. The Guardians are 72-81 on the season, 39-36 at home. They will have Gaddis on the mound tonight, who is 2-1 with a 4.85 ERA. I like Baltimore here. Excuse me. On the money line. Then my next game, New York Mets at the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies are 1.5 run favorites, minus 164 on the money line. The Mets are plus 138 on the money line. Over under for this game is at 8.5 runs. The Mets are 71-81 on the season, 32-45 on the road. They will have Peterson on the mound tonight, who is 3-8 with a 5.22 ERA. The Phillies are 83-69 on the season, 43-31 at home. They will have Suarez on the mound tonight, who is 3-6 with a 3.80 ERA. The Mets are coming off a win last night against the Marlins, but the Phillies got a big win last night too as well. And with the forget who they played, but Castellanos had a couple home runs. I'm gonna go with the Phillies on the money line in that game. And then my last game in Major League Baseball, Detroit Tigers at the Oakland Athletics. The Tigers are 1.5 run favorites, minus 188 on the money line. The Athletics are plus 158 on the money line. Over under for this game is at 7.5 runs. The Tigers are 71-81 on the season, 39-38 on the road. They will have Scooble on the mound tonight, who is 6-3 with a 3.25 ERA. The Athletics are 46-106 on the year, 24-53 at home. They will have Medina on the mound, who is 3-9 with a 5.56 ERA. I like the Tigers here on the money line. So my picks for Major League Baseball tonight: Yankees money line, Orioles on the money line, Phillies on the money line, and the Detroit Tigers on the money line.
Okay, my Major League Baseball picks for tonight. I went with Toronto money line against the Yankees. Baltimore money line at Cleveland. I went the Mets at Philadelphia. Take Philadelphia money line. Pittsburgh at Chicago. I'll take Chicago money line. And San Francisco at the Dodgers. I'll take the Dodgers money
line. All right.
Chris Damien had a question, not a baseball question. He had a question about asking why UFC is not making any cuts to their roster when WWE is making cuts to their roster.
I haven't looked a whole lot into it, but just off the top of my head, I would say because the WWE I think has a bigger roster overall, and with WWE and I think they're different. WWE being more of a scripted thing, where UFC isn't. UFC I think you have to also worry about. I know there's injuries in WWE, but I think you have to worry about a little bit more about the injuries. And in WWE, guys can compete every week. Where in UFC, a guy might fight once, and he might not fight for another 5-6 months.
Do you know their contract structure? Like, do they have a contract? Is it just for fight, or like do they sign like maybe a 2-year deal for 4 or 5 fights, and they get paid per fight, or do they have a deal where they're getting paid so much money a year and then?
I'm pretty sure it's a lot of them sign like maybe they'll sign like a 4 or 5 fight deal or a 3 fight deal. At least that's how it used to be. I haven't looked into it here recently.
I think it's a different pay structure because like WWE, a low man on the totem pole at WWE, not NXT, probably making $200,000 or $300,000.
Yeah, and there's UFC fighters that don't make close to that as well. So I think the pay is different, and the way they work the roster is different because, like I said, you might have a fighter that only fights twice a year, or you might have a fighter that might not fight for a couple of years because of injuries and stuff. So, and the WWE is the new company. Yeah. In that, I know they formed the new parent company TKO, but Endeavor already owned UFC before they brought WWE in.
They probably already made cuts.
And yeah, they probably already made the cuts with that. Now WWE's coming in. And a lot of the cuts have been more like office people and stuff like that. I know some of the roster started getting cut today, but I think some of them cuts might have already been on the way as well.
Yeah, I think here's the list of names. Ali was kind of a surprise because he was in a storyline on NXT and supposed to be in a title match here very soon. So that was a little bit of a surprise. But I think Ali has asked for his release recently, been unhappy. So there may be some backstage stuff there. Emma, since she's been brought back, has been hardly not used. Rick Boogs surprised me a little bit because he was really hot, and then he got hurt at WrestleMania a year or so ago, a little over a year ago, and then he just never got back in. Aaliyah, I don't think she was ready when she got moved up. Elias, I don't know what happened there. I think his contract. I think they said he got released, but I think his contract ran out. Riddick Moss surprised me because I know there was a lot of people really high on him. I don't know what happened there. Top Dollar don't surprise me. He's honestly not that I dislike him. I just the two that kind of surprised me was Shelton Benjamin and Dolph Ziggler. Both of them been real loyal to the company and stuff. And Benjamin, I would have liked him to stayed around if he wanted to and been a coach in NXT or something. He's a Hall of Famer. Dolph Ziggler's a Hall of Famer. I hope Dolph Ziggler don't go to AEW because I don't think he'll be used any better. I hope he goes to somewhere like Impact, and he could be a major star for Impact, I think. So that's just my opinion on that stuff. Yeah, NXT cut's supposed to be at 5 p.m. today. So it's going to be interesting who might be on that list. That probably going to be people that are just not making it. I don't expect any real big names, I wouldn't think, but I mean, you don't know.
I'm figuring what's his name will probably be on that. Oh, fuck. Gable Stevenson.
Well, he's been doing, but people said that, but then he's been doing house shows in NXT.
Oh, has he? Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. There's been a lot of different speculation. He could be.
I was just wondering because I mean,
yeah, there's been some mixed signals.
There was
so I'm not sure.
There's been some hype about him coming in, and then it's like it all just disappeared.
And there's been, so I don't know. He was going to wrestle in the World Championships, and then he didn't. And some people said it was WWE's decision that he didn't. And then, so I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, I don't know.
To be honest. Also in news, WWE signed a deal. Well, going to sign a deal and going to move back to SmackDown. Is going to move back to the USA Network. Evidently, the rumor is Raw and NXT is not going to stay on the WWE Network. So I don't know where it's going to end up. So that could be interesting.
Glenn said if Gigi Dolan gets cut, he'll be sad.
Well, she's supposed to be in a main event match next week, so I'm not expecting that. But then again, Ali got cut, so I don't know.
And Damien says, hate to say this, but I can see Big E and Orton being released.
I don't think Orton would get released to you. And I don't think Big E will either. I think Big E will, at the very least, still honor his contract till the end. And then depends on what he's wanting to do. If he wants to stay with the company or work as a coach. I hope that Shelton Benjamin gets back with the company as a coach or something. I think he's got a lot to offer, as Dolph Ziggler does too.
Yeah.
I think Dolph Ziggler will end up in AEW because of his brother, but I don't know. Well, I told you about Moxley getting hurt last night. I guess he wasn't even supposed to lose the match. And then, I mean, he couldn't hardly do anything. But the bad thing was he took the thing that hurt him twice because the referee didn't count the 3. But Bully, I listened to Bully last night.
What should the ref do in that situation? Because
Bully doesn't,
because it puts the ref in a tough situation because I'm sure the ref knows. I mean, the ref knows what's supposed to finish. So, you know what I mean. So to me, that does put the ref in a tough situation. But you have to have some kind of uniform thing that's supposed to happen. That's supposed to happen there to kind of save Moxley from having to take another bump that he shouldn't have to take. But it does. I mean, if I'm a referee, it put me in touch with because I know this guy's not supposed to win, and if I do count the 3, am I going to get bitched at and ran all over for that? Yeah. But if I don't, then I'm going to get kind of ran over because I put the guy at risk again. So yes.
Well, they said Moxley made the call to do it again. He told the dude pick him up and do it again, and he told the referee to count me out. So he took it again, and it was his decision. But Bully Ray says in WWE it's cut and dry. You count 3, guy don't kick out, it's on him. He said if that referee in the WWE didn't count 3, he'd get fined. He'd get fined. Just like if you're 2 wrestlers and you go outside the ring and the referee's counting and you don't get back in,
that's your fault.
They're going to count you out, and the wrestlers are going to get fined. And I think that's good because it's a set.
Here's what I'm saying: you need to have a uniform thing that hey, if this happens, this is what we do. I know things happen. Now that does kind of make me feel better that Moxley said, it's like, do it again, told the ref, hey, count it. That at least, at least somebody in the ring kind of took charge. Now, was it smart for Moxley to take the move again? Probably not. But it's also, I can also understand, I also see where Moxley was coming from too. It's like, because I can't just lay here and you cover me again when we count 3, because that's going to look bad as well. So at least,
yeah, I would have rather him do something else besides do the same move that he just did to hurt him, and he didn't mean to hurt him. It was kind of the deal where his head got tucked under, and he landed on the very top of his head. Also, Glenn brings up the fact that Adam Cole jumped off the ramp onto the floor, and he came up limp, hurt himself. Actually, the show was pretty good last night. It was a pretty good show.
I heard it was the best AEW show they've done in over 2 years, even better than all their pay-per-views.
Well, that was from a goof that said that. Sorry, goof, but it was a good show. Now, some of the things that he said.
But to be completely transparent, I don't watch it. I don't watch much AEW at all. Here and there, I might watch a match. Now, if I'm walking through and I see Dad's watching it and MJF's on there, a lot of times I'll stop and see what they got going on. Like last night, I stopped there for a second and watched when Adam Cole was at the hospital. I didn't even know the guy that was in the bed supposedly hurt or whatever.
Yeah.
I watched that for a second, but I don't watch a whole lot of AEW. I watch more WWE, but honestly, I don't watch every Raw, every SmackDown, Monday nights, especially during football season. I watch more wrestling when football isn't going on. Once football starts, Monday nights, I usually watch Monday Night Football. But I do kind of, I keep track of what's going on in WWE a lot more than what I do in AEW. But I did see that post last night about how he even broke down down all the matches, man. It was
it's some of the greatest matches I ever saw. I like, man, what are you watching? I mean, not any of the matches. The women's match wasn't very good. And he said that was one of the greatest women's matches you ever seen. So I don't know what he was watching.
And he said Guevara and Jericho put on a 5-star match.
No.
Was that a 5-star match?
No.
I didn't see
it. Was decent.
I didn't see it, so I can't.
If you want to see the story from that match, go back to Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels, because it was a remake of it when Jericho turned on Michaels. Almost exact. Got hit in the balls and everything. Guevara did it to Jericho. So it's the same story. The match was good. I mean, it was a B. It was no 5-star. The best match on the show was Eddie Kingston. The first match, Eddie Kingston and Claudio Castagnoli. That was the best match on the show. I didn't get to see the main event. I had to go to work, so I can't comment on that. But it was a solid show.
Damien says, speaking of AEW, what's your thoughts on reports of AEW having 12 pay-per-views a year? I think that'd be a terrible idea.
The only way it's okay if it goes to a streaming service and it's only $10 a month.
Unless you're on a streaming service where it's like WWE is and you're paying
$10
a little bit a month. But if you're going to try to have a pay-per-view every month and charge $60, $70, I don't even know how much they charge. Probably
50, 60.
I know it's at least 60 probably. If you're going to charge it that much every month, I think that's a bad idea. Especially, it's not like that their numbers have been skyrocketing up. They've had trouble selling tickets at a lot of these venues. Some of the places are going back to now. They're not drawing like they did before. So I think to start trying to charge people that much money every month, I think would be a bad idea, unless they had some kind of streaming deal where you're paying just a little bit a month. Then it might not. Then it wouldn't be as bad. But yeah, the way their structure is right now, I think 12 pay-per-views a month is not a good idea at all.
The rumor is they're going to go on Max and have a streaming service with their library, kind of like WWE, which don't have near as big as library, but they do have the Ring of Honor library too. So they could put them two on there, and I think that's the idea that they're trying to go to.
Yeah, but I think if you're just going to try to charge $50, $60, I mean, there's a reason that UFC don't do UFC does pay-per-views quite a bit now, but they don't even do them every month, and you know what I mean. They don't do them every month.
Yeah,
they do them maybe every other month, every third month or something. But I think if you start going every month, especially if you don't if you can't put together the cards that are going to draw people, and if you're doing one every month, it's hard to build. And I know AEW is not big on storylines anyway, but it's hard to build the storylines in only that month. I just, to me, it's not a great idea.
I think they're trying to move too fast. Me personally, but I guess if people are offering you money, if Max is offering you money to do it, it's hard to turn that down. I think them going to 3 shows was a mistake.
And I don't know how many people have that Max.
I don't know anything about Max.
It was HBO. It was HBO Max, and they changed it to this Max streaming service. I don't know how many people like actually watch stuff on there. You know what I mean? I haven't done enough research on that. I mean, I'll be honest. I get Max for free through my phone service. And I haven't watched. I haven't watched it one. I haven't watched it one time.
I haven't either.
So
I'll tell you something I thought was kind of funny and weird. They started touting that they sold this week for this show Wednesday night, or maybe starting last of last week, Thursday or Friday, that they sold 5,000 seats. The biggest ticket sales in 5 or 6 days that they've ever had. Well, also advertised the fact that you went down to $20 seats for a lot of the seats, and also went to a two for buy one get one free. I think that's, and then you don't say, okay, well, 2 years ago we sold 23,000 tickets here. Last year we sold 17. This year we only sold 10 or 11, and that's with the special. Don't tout stuff that shouldn't be touted. That's just, I don't understand that. That makes you look weak to me.
Yeah. All right. College football tonight. Georgia State at Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina is a 5.5-point favorite, minus 225 on the money line. Georgia State's plus 154 on the money line. Over-unders at 62.5. I like Coastal Carolina here at the minus 5.5.
Damien, the only thing I can say about that's money. If Max is willing to pay you good money for that's what it comes down to, business and money. That's my opinion.
Yeah, maybe TNT and TBS don't want to put it on their streaming for some reason.
Or they're not going to pay the kind of money that they can get.
So I'm going to go Coastal Carolina on that. Then Thursday night football, NFL tonight, Giants and 49ers. Let me make sure the spread hasn't changed or anything. Nope, it hasn't. The 49ers are 10.5-point favorites at home. They're minus 620 on the money line. Giants are plus 460 on the money line. Over-unders at 43.5. I like the 49ers here at the minus 10.5. And I like the over the 43.5 in this game. I think the Giants are going to struggle tonight. For one, no Saquon Barkley. And the Giants haven't, they've out of 8 quarters of football, they played good about 2 quarters.
Maybe 2 quarters.
And that was the second half of that game the other day where they came back against Arizona after being down, 20-0, 28-0 to Arizona. But yeah, the way the 49ers have looked, I expect the 49ers come in here and put it on the Giants tonight. I don't think it's going to be a real competitive game, especially with no Saquon and the way that defensive line the 49ers have and pressure they can put on the quarterback. If you don't have a run game, you're going to be in trouble. And I just don't see the Giants having much of a run game without Saquon Barkley. So I'm going to go with the 49ers at the minus 10.5. I'm going to go with the over the 43.5. Because I think the 49ers are going to put up 30, 40 points, and then the Giants might get a few. So I think I like the over the 43.5.
I'm going with San Francisco and giving up the points.
That's all the games for tonight. I was going to say, don't forget, we will have some live pro wrestling this weekend. I'm not for 100% sure on Saturday if we're going to be live or not. Kind of got to see what kind of internet connection we can get there. I've heard the internet connection there can be a little at that fairgrounds can be a little unreliable. I haven't been there yet, so we'll get there, get everything hooked up, see what what the kind of connection looks like, and then we'll make a final decision then. Sunday we will be live 5 p.m. Eastern for Warrior Pro Year 2. So that should be another great show. Saturday we're going to be in, I think it's JICW. Be our first time there. If we don't get to go live, we'll air one day next week. Probably
it might be 2 days, Chris. They're talking about a whole show, 13 matches. So it could be a 4-hour show. So
yeah.
So I don't know if you're going to want to air that at one time if it's not live.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll get that figured out. Like I said, hopefully we can go live, but we'll get there, kind of test out the connection and see what we think. My picks for tonight, I'll go over one more time. Major League Baseball, Yankees money line, Orioles money line, Phillies money line, Tigers money line. NFL, I like the 49ers at the -10.5 and the over the 43.5. And in college football, I'm going to take Coastal Carolina at the -5.5. We appreciate everybody watching. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room. Like and follow Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all at Gonzo Sports Room as well. Also, check out the All Sports All Plays Network, ASAP Sports Network, on all social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram as well. And you can also find all of our stuff on the ASAP All Sports All Plays Network as well. Hope everybody has a great Thursday night. Enjoy the games tonight, and we will see you guys tomorrow right around 3 o'clock with another episode of Easy Money, a sports betting show. Have a great night.